KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
Months after her sentencing, former Constable Barrientos Vela back in court today, asking a judge for a new trial.
A flubbed testimony from a Texas Ranger and a persistent cough from a juror among the reasons the ex-public official says she deserves a redo.
Dylan Collier was there today as this hearing played out.
Just 2 months into serving her 5 years of probation, convicted felon Barrientos Vela returned to 226 District Court. Her new attorney spelling out a myriad of reasons why his client should be entitled to a new tampering trial. At the center of that argument,
and official oppression.
The flubbed testimony of Texas Ranger Bradley Freeman, who nearly caused a mistrial in late August when he brought up criminal allegations against Barrientos Vela that were off limits. Freeman was later held in contempt of court. But other complaints from the ex-constable on Wednesday were head-scratchers. One of her defense attorneys was interrupted, ironically, by coughing in the courtroom while she testified that a hacking juror made it difficult for fellow jurors to hear the evidence.
I don't remember exactly what parts there was coughing, but it was like throughout the entire trial.
Judge Vela Mesa pointed out that no objections were raised at the time, and also took issue with claims from attorney Jasmine Olguin that juror number 1 was sleeping at key moments during the proceedings, asking Olguin how she knew the person was asleep. Barrientos Vela's fourth argument is that a large number of armed district attorney investigators in the gallery throughout the trial gave off the false impression that the former constable was a dangerous defendant.
The deadline in this case is March 20th. Judge Mesa can issue a ruling or simply let the motion expire. Reporting at the Bexar County Justice Center, Dylan Collier, KSAT 12 News.
Barrientos Vela plans to appeal her felony convictions. She can avoid serving 90 days in jail while that appeal plays out.
Today we had a question. What can be done about a home with a long history of issues reported to police or other authorities, such as the home where dogs lived that attacked and killed an elderly man last month on the west side? We took that question to several city departments today. Police had more than 100 calls for service tied to that home over the course of 2 years. Animal Care Services had a dozen of its own 311 calls. There were even some code issues, though Development Services told us today they weren't serious. The city attorney's office does coordinate what's called a Dangerous Assessment Response Team, or DART, to tackle nuisance properties with documented histories of problems. But a city spokeswoman says this property would not have been a DART inspection, despite the number of calls, because the type of calls for service don't meet what's required by state law.
A New Braunfels special education teacher in the Bexar County Jail on a $250,000 bond. He's accused of having an improper relationship with a student. 41-year-old Bryant Shepard arrested Tuesday at his home by Bexar County Sheriff's deputies. According to city officials, he was seen allegedly having inappropriate contact with a girl student on campus. The school district alerted police, which prompted the investigation. He faces a second-degree felony charge. New Braunfels police encouraging any other possible victims to come forward by calling them at 830-221-4100.
San Antonio police and Crime Stoppers asking for your help to identify a man they believe broke into several mailboxes at a Northwest Side apartment complex. This is what you're looking at here, a screenshot from security video. It was taken February 18th at those apartments on Cinnamon Creek. That's near Fredericksburg and Wurzbach roads. Police say a witness saw the alleged crime and confronted the suspect, who they say then assaulted them before taking off. Anyone with any information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
The Harlandale Independent School District proposing to close multiple elementary schools to avoid potential layoffs.
Board members say the school district continues to see a decline in student enrollment and attendance, meaning less funding.
Our Camelia Juarez tells us what options the district is considering.
Parents and teachers were shocked to learn that 4 elementary schools could be closing.
It's unfortunate because it's a really good school. We're all really sad that it's closing.
But the district says its hands are tied. If nothing is done now, then the district would lose money in the 23-24 school year.
The conversation next year could be very different. It could mean layoffs for our staff.
All Texas school districts generate revenue through student attendance and enrollment, as well as property taxes. Since 2013, Harlandale has seen a sharp decline in students. Projections show that the decline will continue over the years. That's attributed to the decline in birth rate and lack of growth happening in the area.
If you look at Harlandale ISD, we're kind of landlocked, and so we really can't grow in any direction. There aren't very many residential developments being built around Harlandale, and the ones that aren't really going to help our situation.
The superintendent says there are other solutions to overcome the financial deficit, but it's not a popular idea.
He starts telling the staff, really what I should do is close one of the high schools, and then that would just be the $12 million. But he's not going to do that. We understand that that's something that can't be done.
The district says if schools are consolidated, teachers will be transferred to other schools.
I don't like it at all, but I understand that it has to be done.
Now, parents can share their feedback tonight. It's happening right now here at the STEM Early College High School. But if you can't make it tonight, there will be a live stream of the meeting, and it will be recorded on YouTube. There will also be another meeting after spring break. A final decision will not be made until March 27th. Reporting live, Camelia Juarez, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Camille. I want to get to some late breaking news right now from the city's south side. Several firefighters and first responders on the scene in the 3000 block of Roosevelt Avenue. To give you an idea, it's near VFW Boulevard and East South Cross.
Information right now limited, but we do know this is an active scene. Our John Paul Barajas is there live now trying to gather more details. And John Paul, we understand whatever this is, a nursing home is affected?
Steve Meyer, that's correct. We're at the Windsor Nursing Home. The scene out here is kind of complicated. We have multiple fire trucks, at least 4 of them, and then a handful of other fire vehicles. But the scene itself is calm. Firefighters are standing around. We saw a couple firefighters walk in fully suited up. But again, walking in calmly. They've walked out. A lot of them taking their gear off. We've seen them pick up some of the water hoses already. As you mentioned, we don't know what the cause of this fire is or what led to this call. We do see that there is at least one CPS truck here, so maybe an indication something electrical, but again, that's just strictly assuming. Maybe a better idea of exactly where we're at. We're right across the street from the Mission Drive-In Theater over there, as Steve mentioned, off VFW Boulevard. So lots of activity, but luckily it seems like everybody's okay. Lots of residents over here have been evacuated and are still outside, many of them in wheelchairs. But again, even them, they seem calm and just waiting to go back inside. So as soon as we get more details, we'll get that to you. We're waiting to hear from the battalion chief as we speak. Steve, Myra?
An evacuation there for sure. Thank you, John Paul. We'll check in with you hopefully before this newscast is over. An argument between neighbors ended up in a deadly shooting back in September of 2021. The man accused of pulling the trigger now on trial for murder. Luis Alvarado facing up to life in prison if found guilty. Erica Hernandez takes us inside the courtroom as video of that shooting was shown to the jury.
You'll see it plain as day in that video. The defendant raises his gun and starts shooting.
That shooting took the life of 31-year-old Santos Cedillo back on September 20th, 2021. Luis Alvarado on trial for that murder accused of shooting Cedillo when Cedillo confronted him outside the apartment complex they both lived at in the 1400 block of Somerset Road. Cedillo's wife, Maria Hernandez, who was one of 3 people who witnessed the murder, testified that her husband, whom himself was on bond at the time, had no problems with anybody at the apartment complex until Alvarado moved in.
I didn't want Santos to address him because I didn't have a good feeling about him because there was a lot of stuff going on at the apartment.
On the night of the shooting, Maria says she started recording on her phone when Cedillo approached Alvarado in the parking lot about pointing a gun at him. This is that video shown to the jury. After about 5 minutes of the two going back and forth, you see Alvarado raise his gun and fire about 5 times.
What does Santos do when the shooting starts?
he runs away. He jumps out of the way.
Prosecutors say Cedillo died at the scene after getting hit several times, including 3 times in his back. As for the defense, they are saying this was all self-defense and that Alvarado only had a gun because he felt threatened. Alvarado will actually be taking the stand at some point during this trial in his defense. At the Cadena Reeves Justice Center, Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
A lot of questions this evening about a house fire in the Government Hill neighborhood that is now under investigation. That fire started around 7:30 this morning on Mason Street. That's not far from North New Braunfels Avenue and I-35. When firefighters got there, flames could be seen from a front window, and eventually those spread to the attic. The cause of the fire is unknown right now, along with how many people live in that home. While investigators were there on the scene, a woman says that she escaped the fire and was the only one home when it first started, but later said that a man from the home was missing. After a search of that house, though, no other person was found.
You may have heard about it. Today, we're learning a mid-air plane crash in Florida has connections to South Texas. 4 people killed as a result of that crash. One of them is a Fredericksburg native. Happened yesterday over a lake in Winter Haven, Florida, about 45 miles southwest of Orlando. One of the planes was a Piper 161 operated by Sunrise Aviation on behalf of Polk State College. It had a 24-year-old instructor and a 19-year-old student on board. The other plane, a Piper J3 Cub seaplane, had 2 men, ages 67 and 78-year-old Louis DeFazio of Fredericksburg on board. The cause of the mid-air crash unclear, under investigation right now by the National Transportation Safety Board and the FAA.
Look outside with live cam this evening. For those who are loving this weather, they got to be loving this week because we're just kind of on repeat right now, Adam.
Yeah, it's been pretty consistent. It will be changing up a little bit here in the days ahead with a couple of cold fronts that are headed our way. Look at the high temperatures today. 95 in Laredo, 95 in Cotulla, 85 here in San Antonio. But you don't have to go that far to the north to see temperatures really fall off. Abilene had a high of 52, Midland 55, even Oklahoma City and Amarillo, highs in the lower 50s. There's a stationary front just to the north of us with that cooler air on the other side of it. We're still on that warm side, but that front will be plunging southward. And actually, that'll be the first of 2 cold fronts that'll be impacting our weather. We'll get into the details of what the temperatures are going to do and rain chances in a moment. First this evening, you'll notice some stickiness out there. Southeasterly wind at 5 to 10, temperatures gradually falling through the 70s. We'll see you in a bit to talk about those fronts.
It is International Women's Day. What better way to celebrate than making a major life change by becoming an American citizen? See the motivation behind these women's decision to make the move.
Plus, the search still on for the second twin who was last seen in the water off of a pier in Galveston, a 13-year-old boy. What crews are using to comb through the area, along with what we know about the other twin's body that has since been recovered.
281 to loops 410 west. You know it can be a traffic trouble spot. Actually, this isn't all that bad. Traffic is backing up on the ramp as well as on 410 itself. You see down below, but traffic is at least moving. Not all that bad on a Wednesday.
Welcome back. I'm Stefania Jimenez. We want you to stay where you are, watch the news at 6, and then come back for the night beat, because tonight we're going to continue our series fighting fentanyl, and we're going to answer a basic question, and that is, what does fentanyl do to your body? Well, it's an important question because more people are overdosing and dying from the drug, and often the people you least expect are using it. An emergency medicine doctor is going to show you how to tell when someone is overdosing, and he also has life-saving advice because, yes, you can help. Also tonight, more fallout after that horrific, deadly dog attack in a West Side neighborhood. People who saw that attack say they're dealing with vandalism, even a death threat. Tonight on the Night Beat, how San Antonio police are responding to the reported intimidation. We'll see you for these stories and so much more tonight.
Thank you, Stephanie. A heartbreak on the island. The mission to recover the body of a 13-year-old boy underway right now in Galveston.
Yeah, the teen and his twin brother were reported missing Sunday evening. Only one of their bodies has since been found.
Bill Barajas from our sister station in Houston gives us an update on that search and tips on how you can keep you and your loved ones safe.
The recovery mission is now well into day 4. Amidst the waves crashing, there's an organized search effort. The focus, to give the family of Jefferson and Josue Perez some sense of peace.
The same as yesterday. Basically, as soon as the sun comes up, we're starting. Our Galveston CERT team, they mobilize around 9 o'clock and they start their searches then, as well as Texas Echo Search. They're out here as well.
Lieutenant Austin Kerwin says the twins were first reported missing Sunday night.
From our understanding, these kids did not know how to swim, so we always recommend if you don't know how to swim, wear a life jacket.
Kerwin tells us there were no lifeguards in towers that day.
That'll start this Saturday, but we do have our full-time staff that patrol year-round.
He also has a warning for those planning to visit the island this week or next week for some spring break fun.
Do get caught in a rip current. The best thing you can do is remain calm and not panic. Eventually, that rip current will dissolve, and once it dissolves, you can leisurely swim back to shore. If you are a good swimmer, you can always swim parallel to shore, perpendicular to that rip current, and get out a little bit faster.
And search and recovery teams have been out here since early this morning. So far, they have come up empty, but tell us they will remain here until they're able to give this family some sort of closure. In Galveston, Bill Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Back here at home, weather hasn't been bad this week, but I like the idea of a cold front to talk about.
Yeah, at least less humidity would be good. Adam.
Yeah, I mean, cold front, you know, it's technically that's the term. Not as warm, not as humid kind of front is basically what it boils down to. And overall, we have 2 cold fronts headed our way. Friday, the first front, it's going to be a weak one. Sunday, the next cold front hits. That's going to be noticeable, but you'll notice those changes as we get into Monday and through the early to middle part of next week. Take a look at our high temperature trend, and we'll be in the mid 80s again tomorrow, so another warm day tomorrow. But then we drop down to the mid 70s on Friday, only to rebound significantly Saturday and Sunday, well into the 80s, and then we fall off again, closer to 70 for highs Monday and Tuesday. So the yo-yo temperatures are on the way over the next 7 days, and mornings will be impacted quite a bit too, especially as we get into next week. Let's get to that in a moment. First of all, the current readings. Right now, 90 Cthulhu and Carrizo Springs, but 73 in Kerrville, 67 in Fredericksburg. We've had significant cloud cover in the hill country, and that's because the stationary boundary dipped southward, and that really dropped into Gillespie County and parts of the northern hill country and really helped keep those clouds intact throughout the day today with some overrunning moisture up and over them. So here's a look at the satellite and radar, and on the cooler side of that boundary where we have the lower temperatures in the 50s, that's where we have some showers and even thunderstorms and of course significant cloud cover. You have the overrunning, the warm air coming up and over that cold pool at the ground and some moisture associated with it, and you get the action. We see that a lot around here, the classic overrunning situation, but we don't have it right now. We're on the warm side of this boundary. On the cool side, North Texas, just north of Interstate 20, that's where they have the activity and the action, and that's where they're getting the rain. Now, this cold for this stationary front's going to wobble around North Texas overnight tonight and through the day tomorrow, and then finally get picked up by another cold front and push southward, and that's going to be Thursday night, Friday morning. As that happens, notice that our futurecast there is the chance of a few thunderstorms a little closer to our neck of the woods. We just don't think coverage is going to be very impressive. I mean, probably very limited coverage in terms of any showers and storms around us. Slightly better chances in the hill country, but for the most part, we're not very optimistic in us seeing much rain from this. This cold front moving south of us on Friday, and then basically just stalls and washes out and completely dissipates. So not a cold front that smacks you in the face right when it moves into town. It's a wimpy one. 20% chance of showers. The next one will affect our temperatures a little bit more, as I showed you before. 82 degrees. That's our current reading, so warm. And now the dew point dropped down to 57, but it was in the 60s most of the day and will rise again into the 60s this evening and tonight. Already we're seeing those dew points rebound in some locations. Bulverde, for example, that dew point is 63. That's going to lead to some more fog and low clouds and even some patchy drizzle. Not just just tomorrow morning, but Friday and even on into Saturday, as we still have some of that mugginess in the air. Then look at the dew point trend. The next cold front really dropping that dew point and mugginess. By Sunday, our dew point drops into the 50s. Monday and Tuesday, dew points down into the 40s. And remember, when we have that drier air, that means cooler nights and cooler mornings. So let's talk temperatures. Tomorrow, we start the day at 66 with the low clouds, some fog, some drizzle, just more of the same basically. By noon, 78 degrees, seeing some sun, and then partly cloudy into the afternoon at 85 for the high temperature. 74 Friday afternoon, then we get well into the 80s this weekend, and then we'll see those temperatures fall off again with the lower humidity into next week. No rain with the next cold front on Sunday, unfortunately, but notice those mornings back down into the 40s by next week. This was McAllister Park. Ellie and Reggie in the blue bonnets. I was actually mountain biking there today, and I noticed the field just popped very recently with the blue bonnets. It's beautiful.
Did you see Ellie and Reggie there?
You know, I didn't actually. I was looking. I think they were there a little too early for me.
Oh, look at this
And
picture.
that's a good one too.
I love that. All right, thank you, Adam.
All right, the UTSA women have been on a roll. Can they keep it going in the conference tournament, Larry?
It was a nail-biter today, and they pulled it out thanks to a Steele alum. She is one of the best players in the area. Sydney Love helped UTSA hold on to win a thriller, and we continue to celebrate Women's History Month today. We're talking with Jeff alum Gina Perez coming up.
With tournament play, it's just even more thrilling. So I just want to do my best for my team, and this gives me the opportunity to do that.
The game was very close, but UTSA found a lovely way to win it in big board sports. In women's college basketball, number 6 UTSA faced number 11 Florida Atlantic in the first round of the Conference USA Championships in Frisco. Roadrunners down 2 with 6 seconds to play, and former Steel Knight Sydney Love hit 2 clutch free throws to seal the deal. UTSA wins a nail-biter 69-68. After the game, Love, who scored a game-high 20 points, was asked, how did she keep so cool under the pressure at the line?
We were always, after practice, we finished with free throws every time. So I kind of just put myself in that situation and just block out the noise. And I know I can make them, so I was just locked into that moment.
I told them before the game, when you get into tournament play, it doesn't have to be pretty. You know, it's just you're trying to win, and whatever you have to do that. And I thought that they took that to heart, and I'm just super proud. I mean, we won a game here last year, and you want to build on that and have a chance to win more than one. We've given ourselves a chance to do that now.
UTSA will now face the third-ranked Rice Owls tomorrow at 2 p.m. It is time now to introduce you to Gina Perez as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month. Gina was born and raised in San Antonio, and she went to Thomas Jefferson High School and graduated in 1993. She played volleyball, basketball, soccer, golf, and track. She also played club volleyball and softball from age 10 to 18. Back then, sports was a huge part of her life, and it still is. So we asked, what does Women's History Month mean to her?
I would say sports changed my life. I mean, you know, I come from an era where we didn't have as much resistance as, say, my parents' era or something where women could play sports. Growing up from middle school and elementary school, I played on a lot of boys' teams because there wasn't enough participation. But by the time you got to middle school and organized sports, you know, women started to get together and have entire teams. And it paved the way for me. I mean, the thing I always remember, and it sticks with me, is no pass, no play. Like that made me make sure that my grades were on task. And all through high school, it led me to college, and college determined what my career was going to be. And sports, getting a scholarship and playing in softball really helped me drive my career.
Gina played college softball at Texas A&M and is an all-time great in Aggie land. A lot has changed for today's student athletes compared to when Gina was in high school and college back in the 1990s.
I would say it's easier in a different way. So I think, you know, the athletes today have different challenges that we didn't have before or even in my time. But just like when I came along, there was women before me that paved the way. I think we paved a bigger path too that helped the athletes today have more opportunity and acceptance and not so much of the this is the way it's done, how it's always been, it's not going to change. You know, they definitely have different opportunities now. The challenges that they have now are you know, discussion points, you know, for a table and dinner, but it just evolves.
Tonight at 10, Gina will discuss helping to pave the way for today's student athletes and how her supposed lack of size never stopped her from competing as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month on International Women's Day.
I like these features.
Oh, cool. I'm glad you do.
And how other women paved the way, how they're carrying it forward, all that good stuff.
It's been fun.
Yeah. Thanks, Larry.
All right, coming up next here, we're going to take you back out to breaking news on the south side. We've got some new information about what's happening here at this nursing home. Next.
I want to take you back to that breaking news situation at a nursing home on the south side. We are learning that firefighters responded to a report of a fire call initially.
This happened just before 6 o'clock on Roosevelt Avenue near VFW Boulevard and East South Cross. That's where we find our John Paul Barajas. He's been there for the last 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, John Paul, we're hearing more than 30 people had to evacuate. We saw a number of them behind you off the top of the show.
Yeah, and I've only been here about 30 minutes, and you saw those people in the last live shot. All those people have already been taken back inside, so things are cleaning up and clearing out around here. What we know is, unfortunately, we don't know what caused the fire. We know it started on a mattress. They say it's minimal fire damage. No residents were hurt, but one nurse was taken to the hospital due to smoke inhalation. The battalion chief we spoke to says he credits the staff and the fire doors inside the complex or inside the nursing home for minimal damages. He says there's probably upwards of 100 residents here, but because of the fire doors, they only had to evacuate about those 30 to 40 people. The smoke damage is kind of contained in 2 units, so 2 people are displaced, but they will be relocated just to another wing of this building. They said they are wrapping up here right now. He said it was a fantastic job by everybody here and the fire doors inside. They're wrapping up, picking up the hoses as we speak. They said they will have some cleanup crews left over trying to pick up what they said was debris and smoke or foam from the fire extinguisher, because they actually said one of the staff members also used that to help put out the fire. He says it's an amazing job by them, a very good, clean effort by everybody that led to no residents being hurt and only 1 staff member being taken to the hospital due to smoke inhalation. So pretty much all good news there. Steve, Myra?
Very good news. Thank you, John Paul. By the way, those fire doors not only keep the fire from spreading, also keep the smoke from spreading. So that's why they only had to evacuate a part of the building. We've got more breaking news now. This just in, a Bexar County judge denying Michelle Barrientos Vela's request for a new trial. The ruling comes just hours after Judge Vela Mesa heard arguments from the former constable's attorneys. Barrientos Vela's team tried to make a case based on flub testimony from a Texas Ranger, along with things like jurors sleeping and coughing during key moments of last year's trial. Barrientos Vela sentenced to 5 years probation, 90 days in jail for tampering with security payment logs. Again, she has been denied her request for a new trial.
The acting FAA administrator appearing on Capitol Hill today to testify about safety in the skies. This hearing comes amid a spike in near misses, aborted takeoffs, and unruly passengers. ABC's Jacqueline Lee gives us the highlights of that hearing, along with what steps will be taken next.
Acting FAA Administrator Billy Nolan testified before Capitol Hill after nearly 350 died in 2 fatal 737 MAX crashes. A scathing 2020 House of Representatives report saying the FAA had grossly insufficient oversight.
We believe that everyone is entitled to a level of safety no matter where in the world they fly. We are recruiting a workforce that can meet the demands of the future.
Nolan told the Senate Commerce Committee the FAA is ramping up oversight of Boeing and adding nearly 300 employees to its safety office, and also implementing elements of the Bipartisan Aircraft Certification, Safety, and Accountability Act. Lawmakers also grilled Nolan about a series of near misses and violent, disturbing incidents in the air.
I'm taking over this plane.
On Sunday, terrifying moments on board a LA flight to Boston. 33-year-old Francisco Torres is accused of threatening passengers and trying to stab a flight attendant several times in the neck with a broken metal spoon.
What the heck is going on in air travel? We have set a policy, a zero zero tolerance policy around unruly passengers. It is just simply not allowed.
At Boston Logan International Airport earlier this week, 2 United planes clipped wings as one pushed back from the gate.
We've got to rebuild the system to build in more buffer to prevent incidents from getting even that close to disaster.
And next week, the FAA will hold a safety summit in Washington. The FAA is saying it will examine all aspects of the nation's aviation system to understand why we are seeing so many close calls. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, New York.
An Austin man now recovering after he was rescued by a 25-year-old man who jumped into action to remove him from a burning car crash. That 25-year-old ended up being Minnesota Vikings wide receiver KJ Osborne. Osborne in an Uber in Austin when they came upon a fiery wreck under a bridge. He ran out of the car with his driver, finding a man trapped inside. Osborne, the Uber driver, 2 other Good Samaritans teaming up to save that guy, pulling him from the wreckage. Osborne doesn't yet know the identity of the man he saved, but he's looking forward to meeting him again.
I'm kind of actually excited to be able to find out who this guy was, just to be able to shake his hand, and God is real. And, I'm just happy, we were able to save this man's life.
After emergency personnel arrived and brought the man to the hospital, Osborne had a moment to breathe and take this selfie with the 3 people he calls heroes.
What a story.
He's among them.
The train derailments, they keep on happening. This latest one involving a non-hazardous freight train in West Virginia. All 109 train cars were empty at the time of this crash, according to West Virginia emergency management officials. They say the cause of the derailment was a rock slide. One part of the train caught fire and one fuel tank went into a nearby river. 3 employees were on that train and they were taken to a hospital.
The crews are working to dismantle the amusement park ride where a 14-year-old boy fell to his death last year in Orlando. Tyree Sampson died on March 24th after boarding the 430-foot drop tower. His autopsy confirmed that he weighed more than the recommended maximum rider weight. That's according to a state investigation. The ride operator also, according to that investigation, manually adjusted Sampson's seat so he was able to slip out from the harness when that ride dropped. We'll be right back.